What's going on, guys? We're back with another shop update video. I have Bear's truck in the garage, and that's the first thing I'll be working on in this video. I've done plenty of videos on this truck before, but if you're not familiar with it, this is a pretty badass Gen 1 Raptor, cambered kit in the front. The back has a back half and short course 4-link that I built. Very similar to Elliot's back half and 4-link, but I would say this is like the updated layout, or at least just another version of it, because this is built years after Elliot's. Fuel cell at the back, down low. It's a really clean and cool truck, but anyway, the core support's broken and I have to come up with a way to fix it. So the core support on this truck is bent forward right above the body mounts up here, which unfortunately is actually pretty common on these trucks if you drive them really hard. I think it happens if you nosedive a jump really bad. That's when it seems to happen, but I've seen my fair share of this. And it's actually been bent for, I think, like 3 years on this truck, but at the end of last year, this side actually broke apart and got really bad. So I'm gonna have to, it's kind of forcing us to actually do something about it now. I think this one is too far gone to try to get it exactly where it was before, but what I can at least do is cut out all the bad and then plate it together really good. And yeah, I think this side almost always seems to be worse. And I think it's because the weight of the battery is right there. But my theory on why this happens, let's go look at my truck because it's not bent or broken on mine. But I have a theory of why this happens. And I don't know if I'm right, but this is just my opinion on it. So you see here how thin this metal is, right? And that's what's joining this part of the core support to this part. And you have a gap here, and it's just that little thin metal. So what I think is happening is the cab is on those same mounts, right? So when you nosedive a jump, I think the cab flexes forward on the mounts and then springs back. It does like one of those, bloop, bloop. And I think that up here, instead of flexing the mount, the metal is so thin in here that it just bends forward. I think since this part is connected to the cab, it goes forward with the cab, right? And I think instead of flexing the mount, it just bends the metal. And then you're stuck with a bent one. I recommend plating these before they ever bend. So if you have one of these trucks and you're gonna off-road it hard and yours isn't bent yet, go plate it right now. You can see this is just 1/8 inch steel plate with another 1/8 inch piece welded to it. So I've increased the thickness right over that weak spot with 1/4 inch of steel. And I actually sell these on my website, offseasonfabrication.com, a weld-on version and a bolt-on version. I only make them for the Gen 1 trucks, 09 to 14 F-150s and Raptors, and I'm not actually sure if it's even an issue on the newer trucks. I've never personally seen it or heard of it, but it's definitely a thing on the Gen 1s. So let's see what we can do here. Okay, check it out. I got some of it cut out and opened up now, and my plan is to take this. I got some angle iron here. That's gonna go here. Weld all around this piece to these. And then we're gonna do some plating off of this up on here. And we'll go from there. All right, so I got that piece in there and it already feels way better now that this is all plated along here and it's welded back to this again, because these weren't even connected anymore. I can grab this and move it all around before, and now it's solid again. So that's a good sign. Next step is this plate right here I just cut out. That's gonna go like this. Yeah, something like that. Get that on there and then figure out what I'm gonna do next. Guys, I am making some progress over here and I better get the camera out and show you before I get too far into this. But I got that plate welded in, and then I decided, I was thinking about double plating it, and I was like, then there's still a point right there, like a corner, you know? So what would be stronger than that? Probably triangles. So I cut out these little triangles. I didn't weld this one yet, I decided to grab the camera, but these little triangles are welding onto there, connecting both of these, and then we're gonna do a plate. I don't know if I can hold the camera and do this, but I think you get the point, right? So let's do that. So I'm gonna call this side done. I'll get it cleaned up and painted, and then we can move on to the other side. Just finished welding up the driver's side. This side went a lot easier because it wasn't broken or cracked, it was only bent. So I was able to take a piece of steel and bend it in the vise with a hammer and a monkey wrench into this same shape so I could plate over it. And then once I got that welded in, I decided to add a piece like this too, right on the bent spot to make it even more difficult for it to bend any further. And I think that'll be good, so I'll paint it and give it back to Bear. I believe he plans on bringing this thing to Pre-Runner Invasion this weekend at Silver Lake Sand Dunes with the rest of us. The reason he didn't go on the last dune trip was because A, this was broken, and B, his diff was making noise. So he just put a pinion bearing in it over the weekend and then brought it here for this. So I got to finish this up and give it back to him, and I think he's coming with, so that should be fun. I'll finish it up. What's going on, guys? I think it is finally time we make this truck quieter, and I cannot believe those words are even coming out of my mouth, but before anybody says anything, let me explain, because sound has always been important to me with this truck. When this truck gets a compliment, 9 out of 10 times, it's about the way it sounds. And yeah, I mean, it's been through a lot of different mufflers and setups back in the day, but when we did the new engine and headers and cams and everything in 2019, it sounded really good with what we put on it, and it's been that way ever since. And I've loved it, but to be honest with you guys, I don't know if I'm just getting old or what, but the last couple dune trips with the truck, at the end of last year and then the trip we just did, I find myself by the end of the day short shifting it because I'm tired of hearing it screaming all day on the dunes, you know? And I kind of have this theory that the truck didn't used to be this loud. I've never done any research on this myself, but I've always heard that glass pack style mufflers do break down over time and get louder. And that makes sense to me because I think the fiberglass packing in there probably gets wet and matted together and does break down like that. But anyway, I thought about just buying the same muffler that was on it and putting it on again and seeing what happens, but I decided let's try to make it sound the same as it did before, but even quieter. And then if the muffler does break in later, it won't be too loud again. So what I've done here is I've already cut the old one off right there. You can see it's been through it. But this is a Flowmaster Flow FX. A lot of people, when they think Flowmaster, they think a chambered muffler. These dogs are straight through. I don't know, there's a turn down there so you can't really see, but yeah, straight through mufflers, really good mufflers for the price. Like I said, this has been on the truck since 2019. I found out they make the exact same muffler, same inlet and outlet and length and everything, but 6-inch body instead of 4-inch. So that's where we're at. I'm gonna put it on there. I hope I don't regret this. I think I'm gonna like it, but we're about to see. I already put a turn down on it. All I gotta do is climb under there, weld it on, do the hangers, and then we'll do a cold start together. Well guys, we're back. That was not fun at all. Forgot how much I do not like to lay on the ground and weld, especially underneath a truck like that, but we're about to fire this thing up and hear it for the first time together. It's only like 50 something degrees out today. Pretty cold, so normally this thing would start up in high idle and be pretty obnoxious. Let's see what it does. All right. It's a lot quieter. Don't get me wrong, it still sounds like a loud off-road truck, but then it's a lot quieter than it was, especially because I know it would be really loud right now. Sounds good, but I gotta do some driving to the side. Okay, we're back in the garage now. It's been a few days since I did the exhaust. I was a bit shocked at first how much quieter it was because it really made a big difference, but it still sounds good. Still sounds like my truck. I think I made the right decision here. Feel like I can rev it out to its full potential now without worrying about the people around me or where I am when I do it. So it should be a lot more fun to drive that way. And I think once this muffler breaks in and gets a little louder, it'll be at a really good level again. But that's done and over with now. Moving on to the next thing. I got some shocks that were sent in from Illinois for a rebuild and revalve. We're gonna put some more compression valving in these things. Let's do it. Okay, so as you can see, I got the whole shaft assembly out. I got all the oil out. I got the reservoir mostly taken apart. These things are coming apart really nice and easy. I'm guessing by the looks of these shocks that they're pretty damn new because they're really clean and everything is in really good shape still. So it's going really well. The piston valving that I'm putting in was supposed to come yesterday. Today's Saturday, and it didn't. So that's not supposed to come Monday. So today is pretty much just going to be a teardown day. I do have a couple of seal kits for these already in stock here. So what I'm going to do today is take them apart, clean them up, change all the O-rings everywhere, and get them ready. Get them to a point where they're ready for when the piston valving and the oil does get here Monday. All I have to do is reassemble the pistons with the new valving and put the shocks together and finish them up. So that's what we're gonna do today. Let's get it done. All right, I got all the O-rings changed on the shock body, the reservoir, all that. I'm not gonna make you guys sit and watch through all that boring stuff, but now we got the shaft assembly on here. So I'm gonna take this nut off and we're gonna start dissecting this piston. So I got all the shims out now and measured. The rebound stack in here is all 008 thickness. The compression stack is mostly 010 with a couple of 015 shims in there. And this is actually the thinnest set of shims I've seen in shocks so far. And I haven't done a million shocks or anything, but usually what I see is a 015 compression stack and a 012 rebound stack. And the trend so far with my truck and my buddy's trucks, with how we drive the trucks and what suspensions we have and everything, the trend so far has been leave rebound alone and add compression. So most of ours have a 020 stack on the compression side or an 015, but with more shims stacked together like that. Same diameter, but doubled up or tripled up. And that's why this is here. He wants more compression. So I still have to change the seals in the seal head. I still have to change the wiper seal in the dust cap. And then I'll slide those back on the shaft and get that all cleaned up. But that's as far as I can get today until the new shims and the oil gets here. I still have to get that shock torn down to the same point, so I'll do that, and yeah, we'll keep moving on. Okay, I got both shocks torn down now, resealed, and ready to go when the parts come in on Monday, so we'll pick up on this after work Monday. And we're back. Check it out, guys. We got a whole bunch of shims here. Got oil now, so we're ready to start putting these things back together. And I talked to the owner of the truck, and we decided we're going to take the old compression shims and replace the rebound shims with them because they're just a hair thicker. That way we're going to slow rebound down a little bit too. I think it's the right move with this thing. Let's start putting them together. Alright guys, I got those shocks done. This thing is ready to go for the weekend. That thing is ready to go for the weekend. If you're going to Silver Lake Sand Dunes Pre-Runner Invasion, I will see you there. Thanks for watching the video. See you in the next one.